We will start with our discussion of continuation of the discussion of the Bhagavad Gita. So before we start, we will do small prayers. Hariprasad, are you there?
Yes, Teja.
Yeah. Please, you can just repeat after me. So I will tell the prayer, and then you can repeat after me, and hopefully, like even the audience, all of you also can try to repeat. You do not turn on your audio, but you can try to repeat with mute. Yeah. So before we start any spiritual discussions, we take prayers from our Guru and also Vyasdev. That's why we are just doing these prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandasya
Om Ajnana-timirandasya
Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam
Jnana-jala-shalakaya
चक्षुरुन्मिलितं
Chakshurunmilitam yena
Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda
प्रभु नित्यानंद
Prabhu Nityananda
Advaita Gadadhara
श्री अद्वैत गदाधर
Shri Advaita Gadadhara
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
श्रीवासादि गौर
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so we are going to start our discussion. So till now, what had happened, if you observe in the Bhagavad Gita, is Arjuna first asked Krishna to actually take him to the in between to observe the armies. And when he suddenly saw the armies, just 1 minute, I'll just switch off my. Yeah. So when Arjuna actually saw all the armies in front of him, then he saw that his own grandfather was there, Bhishma Dev, his own teacher was there, Dronacharya, and so many of his cousins were there. So then he suddenly realized, a sudden realization came upon him that actually I have to kill all of these people. I have to kill all my relatives. I have to kill all my teachers. So then he became suddenly perplexed. And then he was thinking, should I really kill them? So if I kill them, then I will lose my relatives. I lose all these people, even though I may get a kingdom. And he got many other doubts also. So therefore, and then if he doesn't kill, then what happens? Then the Kauravas will continue their adharma and adharmic activities. So he was totally confused whether he should kill or not kill. So at that point, he gave so many arguments to Krishna, and Krishna also was trying to tell in a smiling way, because Arjuna also was not taking Krishna as a teacher. Actually, he was taking him as a friend. And he was talking, having that conversation with Krishna. And then finally, when he felt that, okay, this confusion is something beyond me, that is the time when he actually tells Krishna, you are my teacher. You please teach me, I will learn. And that is the time when Krishna first starts talking. So today we are going to learn the first verse which Krishna actually spoke in Bhagavad Gita. That is what we are going to learn. So before we even start with it, first we have to understand that Arjuna is not an ordinary person. So Arjuna is a very mature person. Regarding that, my wife will speak.
So, as my Prabhuji rightly said, Arjuna is a matured person. We see that Arjuna is not valuing objects. Like if he wins the war against Kauravas, he'll become a king. He'll have all the riches, but he is not valuing it more. He is valuing it. He is valuing about his praja. He is thinking that how can I kill my teacher? How can I kill my grandfather who was very loving with me since childhood? How can I kill all the soldiers? Because if they die, what will happen to their women? They'll become widow. So he is keeping praja in front of objects. He's not bothering about what will he gain when he wins the war. He's keeping praja in front of everything else. So here we have to understand a very interesting point. That is, how mature a person is shown by what he laments for. So I will repeat the statement again. How mature a person is shown by what he laments for. Let me give you a few examples. For example, if we take a toddler or a small child, what does the child laments for? The child laments for some toys or chocolates or something like that. And if we take a grown-up boy, what the boy laments for? The boy laments for studies or sports marks, or maybe a girl. These days it is common. And next, if we go to a next higher level, we see that a married man, he laments for money because he has got so many responsibilities. He has to take care of so many people, his wife, children, so many things. So he has to manage everything. So money, for money, he laments. And if we take even more, if we go even more further, an old person, what does he lament for? He will have this pain, knee pain, leg pain, so many things will be there. Basically, he laments for health. He wants to have a good health. So, here if we see, a married man will not lament for chocolates or toys which a child is lamenting for. There we can see the maturity of the man. So, as we grow, the maturity level also increases. So here Arjuna is even more mature than everyone else because he is keeping his relatives, his praja in front of everyone else. He's not bothered about the riches, being a king, nothing else. Why? Like for example, if we take in this modern age, we generally tend to love things which we buy, like cars, bungalows, so many things. But we are using people these days. But Arjuna is a wise man. He is not using, he is actually concerned about the praja. So that's why Arjuna is a wise man. So we see that Arjuna is keeping praja in front of objects. He is selfish. He is selfless. He is mature. He is very great. But still, now we'll go to the verse. What Krishna says.
So still, see, even though Arjuna was so mature, he was so selfless, still he was confused. That is the very, very interesting thing, right? So even though he's so mature and all, he's still confused what is the correct thing. And then he asked Krishna, please teach me what is the right thing. I am totally confused what I should do here. And let us see what actually Krishna actually is speaking here in this particular verse today. You can all, Hari Prasad, you can repeat after me, and all of you can also repeat. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri
Bhagavan Uvacha
Ashochanan
Choshan Chagochastvam
Prajnavadamscha Bhasase
Vadam
प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे
Gatasuna Gatasumscha
गतासु न गतासुंश्च
Nanu Sochanti Panditaha.
नानुशोचन्ति
So
पण्डिताः
here is the most wise man, who is Arjuna, and he is asking, please help me, O Krishna. And let us see what Krishna is going to tell right in the first verse.
So translation.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what which is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead.
Purport. The Lord at once took the position of the teacher and chastised the student, calling him indirectly a fool. The Lord said, you are talking like a learned man, but you do not know that one who is learned, one who knows what is body and what is soul, does not lament for any stage of the body. So here till now we discussed that Arjuna is very great, but now Krishna is calling Arjuna a fool. Why Krishna is calling Arjuna a fool? Because Krishna is saying that Arjuna, everything what you said is okay, but there is deeper reality than what you are seeing right now. What is the deeper reality? That we are not the body, we are not this body, we are the soul. Krishna is telling to Arjuna that you are thinking that you are killing your teacher, Bhishma Dev, Dronacharya, you are lamenting for killing them, but you are not actually killing them. If you kill them, only the body dies. The soul is eternal. The soul is never born and it never dies. So soul is eternal. For this, let me give you one example. Like just like if you bring a new television to your house, so it comes with a packaging of thermocol and everything will be there. But you'll remove the thermocol and you throw the thermocol. But you'll not lament that why I'm throwing thermocol, I need the thermocol. Because the thermocol is not important. What is important is the TV. Same here, we see that the soul is important and body is not so important. Why? We see we have so many relatives, we have friends, family members, we love them so much. But once they die, we don't even keep their bodies in our house for more than 2-3 hours. We give the body or we do the dahan sanskar, like we give it to the fire. So only until the soul is present in the body has the value. So here my Prabhuji will explain about why we are not the like he'll explain about the soul in more detail.
Yeah. So we can clearly see that he's telling that, Arey, you are lamenting that Bhishma will die. Arey, you are lamenting that Drona will die. But actually, they will not die. They will continue to exist. That is the main point. You are thinking they will die, but they are not the body. So you are thinking that Bhishma is his body, Drona is his body, I am my body, and they are my relatives. And they are all, I am going to kill all of them. And if I kill all of them, I will lose them. They will die. But actually, they will continue to exist. This is the first teaching which actually Lord Krishna gives to Arjuna, and through him, he gives to all of us, which is the concept of soul. So this is the first teaching of Bhagavad Gita, and that is what we will be reading. We'll continue to read now. You can see the screen, I hope. We'll go to the next verse. So we are going to read the next verse. Natva evaham jatu nasham natvam neme janadipa na chaiva na bhavishyama sarve vayam ataparam. So what is Krishna teaching here? Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor these kings, nor in future shall any of us cease to be. This is the first teaching which Krishna is telling. He's telling there was never a time when you and I and these all kings and all these soldiers, including your grandfather, including all these people, they did not exist. They were existing, they will exist now, and they will continue to exist in future, which means the soul which is there is eternal. And what is happening at the time of death is basically they are simply going to change the body. So many times we actually get this doubt, what happens at the time of death actually? When this death happens, is everything over? Are we just, so this we are, if many of us actually we think that we are this body. So I have asked this question many times to people, who are you? When I ask this question to people, then they give several answers. Some person says, sir, actually my name is Teja. So, but actually Teja was the name given to me at the age of maybe very few, when I was few months old, right? But before that, who I was, think about it once. So let us say I will say that I'm a male. But actually nowadays, you know that you can do gender operation, right? Even Michael Jackson did a gender operation. You can change from male to female. So are you a male or are you a female then, really? So some people may say that actually I am a human being. So yeah, I might be a human being, but actually which human being I am? Once upon a time, I was a small child. Now I am a big person, right? So I am that human being or this human being, which person I am? So see, one thing is, even according to science also, all the cells of the body change in every 7 years once. So every 7 years once, all the body cells are replaced. So if the entire body has changed, but you, the person, is actually the same. So that is the logic which Krishna is giving in the next verse of Bhagavad Gita, which we are just now about to see. So we can just see what is the logic which Krishna is telling. So I'm going to the next verse. Here Krishna is telling a very, very interesting logic. You can see here. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhiras tatrana muyati. So here you can see, as the soul, embodied soul, continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youthhood to old age, the soul similarly passes to another body at the time of death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. So this is what Krishna is telling, that even within this life, our soul has passed through several bodies. So when a small child body is there and you compare the body now, total change. You may say, sir, actually the body has grown. That's all. I am the body and the body has grown. But growth is also a change, which means the body has changed. But you, the person, are the same. I'll tell you one more example. Are we our eyes or do we see through our eyes? Which is correct? Anybody of you can tell? Let us see who is still listening to this. You can message or you can unmute yourself and tell. Are we our eyes or we see through us? Yes, thank you, Smriti. You are telling we see through our eyes. We are not our eyes, right? So similarly, we hear through our ears. We are not our ears. We smell through the nose. We are not our nose. We taste through the tongue. We touch through the skin. We think through the mind and we feel through the heart. But we are actually different from all of these things. We are the person who doesn't change actually. So from childhood to youthhood to old age, our body has changed, but your mother will still recognize you. For example, I can see Sakshi here. So Sakshi's mother, when she was very small also, she will say Sakshi, but now she has grown so much, the body has changed. If you say she is the body has totally changed. Then, but still she will say Sakshi only. Why? Because the person within the body, the soul, is actually changed. That is the same. That is what Krishna is telling. In this life itself, the body is continuously changing, which means the Atma, which is inside the body, is changing the bodies from childhood to youthhood to old age, from Kaumaram, Yavvanam, Jara. In this way, you are changing the bodies within this life itself. Similarly, at the time of death, you will just change the body into the next one. So there are many more examples which we can give to this point, but we'll continue to the purport. But this is the fundamental first teaching actually. Without this teaching, there is no question of spirituality to be discussed also. Without understanding that we are not the body, we are the spirit soul. Secondly, the spirit soul has no death. When the body dies, the soul doesn't die. Soul will continue to exist. In fact, soul will actually change the body. So let us now continue to read the purport here. Since every living entity is an individual soul, each is changing body at every moment. So here it is being told that the body is being changed at every moment. Every moment the soul is continually changing the body. The soul is same. That is you basically. So I'll give you a small example to understand this point. So this body, it can be compared to a hardware of a computer. Okay. So if you compare the body to a hardware of a computer, mind can be compared to a software. So body is compared to the hardware. Then the mind can be compared to the software. And the soul is actually the user of the computer. So body is the hardware, mind is the software, and the soul is actually the user of the computer. Through the mind and all, we control this body, that is correct. But actually the soul is actually the user. So another example can be given. So when the body dies, so when the person dies, the body has the eyes, but he cannot see. The body has the ears, but the ears cannot hear. The body has a tongue, but it cannot taste. So as long as the soul is there, it can function everything properly. So another example which can be given is the car, right? So in a car, there are horns, then there is a lights, then there is a steering wheel, then there are four wheels like that, correct? So when the driver is inside the car, at that time, the car can move with the wheels, it can also see through the lights, and it can also make a sound also like through horn and everything. But if the driver is absent, even though the car is there, the car has four wheels, but can the car move? The car cannot move because the driver is not there. Even though the car has horn, it cannot sound, right? So similarly, when the soul actually leaves this body, even though the body has eyes, it cannot see. Even though the body has ears, it cannot hear. So that is the point. So yeah, we'll just continue from this here. So in this way, actually the soul is actually changing the body at every moment, manifesting sometimes as a child. Yeah, so sometimes as a child, sometimes as a youth, and sometimes as an old man. So in this way, the body is continuously changing, but you, the person, are the same. Yet the same spirit soul is there, and that does not undergo any change. This individual soul finally changes the body at the death and transmigrates to another body. That is the point. Just like in this life, you are changing the body continuously. After death also, you will change to next body. That is the point. And since it is sure to have another body in the next birth, either material or spiritual, there is no cause for lamentation by Arjuna on the account of death. Yeah, neither of Bhishma or Drona. That means, oh, you are lamenting Bhishma will die, Drona will die, but actually they will continue to exist. So you don't need to be concerned. That is what Krishna is telling. Rather, he should rejoice that they are changing the body from old ones. See, many times old bodies, they give a lot of trouble also. They give a lot of diseases and everything. So now they are changing their old bodies to new ones. So therefore, there's nothing to lament. That's what Krishna is telling, thereby rejuvenating their energy. Such changes of the body account for varieties of enjoyment or suffering according to one's work in this life. This is called as karma. We will be discussing karma aspect in later sections of Bhagavad Gita in a very great depth. What is karma? And why does some types of karma lead to happiness, and why does some types of karma leads to distress? So Bhishma and Drona, being noble souls, being noble souls, were surely going to get spiritual bodies in the next life, or at least have a heavenly bodies. So what is the difference between heavenly and spiritual bodies also we'll cover later. For spiritual superior enjoyment of material existence. So basically they have accumulated some punya, then they will go to heavenly planets, or there is something called as a karma, which we will discuss later, by which one goes out of this material world itself. So in either case, there is no cause of lamentation. So this is what we are actually seeing, that we are not the body, we are not even our mind. Sometimes we have this doubt, okay, I understand that I am not my eyes, I understand that I am not my ears, but maybe I am my mind. But I'll tell you one small point. Mind is a storehouse of thoughts, desires, and everything, but we are not that. I'll tell you a nice example. Suppose you are studying for your exam, or suppose you are doing your project if you are a working professional, and let us say tomorrow is the deadline or tomorrow is the exam, and you are doing very seriously, and some of your friend comes and he says, let us go for a movie. So that time you can hear our mind also tells, let us go for a movie, let us go for a movie. You can hear that voice. You all must have heard that voice inside of you, correct? But you can choose whether to go for the movie or you can study. That is up to you, which means we are different from that thoughts, desires, which means we are different from the mind also. We can choose to adhere to that, or we need not choose to adhere to that. That means we are different from our mind also. We are not our body, we are not our mind also. So the main point is, we in this way, we Atma keep changing one body after another body within this life, and after the death also another body we will get. So one may ask a question, okay, I understand that we change a body next life. Actually, there are many scientific evidences also. We can even share some of the scientific evidences where like people like Dr. Ian Stevenson and many others also, they have actually done a lot of research on reincarnation. So there are people who from childhood, they are speaking some extinct language, which was 500 years ago. So how is that possible, right? So that is possible only because they were having a previous birth. There is no other explanation like that. So there are many such case studies. There is one famous case study of Pam Reynolds. She's a great singer. She was a great singer, and she was going through this brain surgery. And when she was undergoing through brain surgery, that time she was in total dead state. The brain waves and all, everything was showing that she's in coma state. But when she came back afterwards, when she got healed and she came back, she started talking about what are all the details in that operation. She was telling so many things which the doctors were doing and all of that. So doctors were quite surprised as to how she knows all of these details. Then she was actually telling she had an out-of-body experience. So this is a journal fact. In American journals also it is there. There is something called as out-of-body experience, where a person actually sees his own body from above. Just like here, Pam Reynolds is sleeping here. They are all standing here and they're doing operation, right? So she was seeing all of that scene from above. So how is that possible? That out-of-body experience also, there is no other explanation other than Atma. So these all are already given in the Bhagavad Gita and all of that. So science is also slowly discovering that there is actually something called as Atma. So in this way, we actually keep changing one body to another body to another body. And one question can be asked is, what is the basis in which we get the next body? So that depends on, so Krishna tells another verse for it. Maybe that verse that person will cover. So for today, we just understood these points, that we are actually, first of all, Arjuna was a very mature person. Arjuna was a very wise person. Still, he got confused in life. See, if we are under the bodily conception of life, which means we think I am the body, and those relatives are also, they are their bodies, there is bound to be confusion in life. Just like Arjuna also got confused. So then he did the right thing. He approached Krishna, and Krishna is actually giving a deeper understanding of reality. He is telling that actually when you kill your relatives, they are not dying. They are actually the Atma, and they will go to another body. So there is nothing to lament here. So then he is telling about Atma, and in Atma also he is telling how in this life only you are changing from childhood to youthhood to old age. Similarly, at the time of death, you will change to next life. So there is nothing to lament to Arjuna. Please stick to your dharma. You are seeing that Kauravas are actually doing adharma. So it is your dharma to abolish adharma. That is what it is your duty. Stick to the duty. Don't feel that I am killing those people and all of that. because they are not their bodies, they are the spirituals. So with this, we will end today. Any questions or anything we can take? I don't know if anybody is asking questions every day, but if you have, we can do. Otherwise, we can end for today. So here Puneet is asking, sir, in all animals and insects also soul migration happens. Yes, that's a very nice point. So that is correct. So soul is there in all the living entities, including plants, trees, animals, insects, everything. And when we die, we can take next birth as any of these species. In fact, the Vedas tell 8.4 million species are there. Any one of the species actually we can take. Now, on what basis we take is actually something called as desire and karma, which we will cover in next sessions. Like when that verses come, that will be covered. Puneet, to answer your question, all animals and souls also, animals and insects also, soul migration does happen. So Hemant is asking, where does soul lie in our body? Yeah. So this is also we get from the Vedas only. So it is situated in the heart of the, in the region of the heart. So where is that told actually? I forgot that. Yantra Rudani Maya, the first part. I forgot that verse actually, starting. Okay, I forgot that verse, but there is a verse in Bhagavad Gita itself which tells that soul resides in the region of the heart. Of course, now heart transplant is done, then what happens? So soul is not bound to the heart. It is just staying in the region of the heart, but it is not bound to the heart. It is spiritual. It is transcendental to this matter, like that. So thank you, Hemant, for asking that question. Thank you, Puneet. So Himaja is asking, sir, if soul is just changing the body, how can it forget experience? That's a very good point. So, sir, yeah, that is correct. You are telling there is Punarjanam and all, previous life was there. Then why is that we forgot our last life? That's a very good question, right? So, see, the point is, if I ask you, last Wednesday, what did you eat in the dinner? If I ask you that question, Himaja, suddenly you may not remember, right? That means forgetfulness is inbuilt in us. We keep forgetting things. But if you have a calm mind and you try to recollect it, okay, Tuesday I was having what, then Thursday what I was having, then maybe Wednesday, then slowly, you will recollect. That means that that memory is stored in your subconscious memory. If you think with a calm mind, you can actually revive that memories. So similarly, there is a person called Brian I. Weiss. He has done a lot of research in this reincarnation and all, and he actually heals people through something called as hypnotism. So what he does, so actually there's a lot of theory behind this, like why do certain people have phobias in their lives? So the reason why they have phobias is, let us say some person has fear of water, right? So why the person has fear of water? Because in previous life, he might have died in some water accident or something like that. That's why he has fear in this life of water. Why somebody has fear of knives and guns and all, previous lives he has died through that particular means, therefore he has that fear. So Brian Ives, what he does, he actually tells you can recollect why you are so fearful of this particular thing, let us say of knife or water, like that. I'll help you. What he does, he puts the person in hypnosis, and then he tells you are now calm, in a calm state of mind. So he puts them in hypnosis. Hypnosis is a calm state of mind. So when you're calm state of mind, your recollection power increases. So that time he asks, okay, what happened one day before? What happened 2 days before? What happened 1 year before? 2 years before? 10 years before? Like that, he goes to past life also. You can go up to past life, and then he tells, okay, what exactly is the experience because which caused you so much fear, and then he tries to heal the people also from this. So there are many work done in this. So basically, what is the short answer is, yeah, we have forgetfulness inbuilt in us, and that's why we keep forgetting things. And yeah, with the change of the body, we do forget. So, but it is all stored in the subconscious memory. It can be brought out by doing some certain techniques. But yeah, that is not the main important thing. We have passed millions and millions of lifetimes like this. So that is not the main thing. Main teaching of Bhagavad Gita, what is our past life? Let me remember. That is not the main teaching. We should actually focus on other teachings, which is what is the implication? How do we apply this concept of we are not the body, we are soul? That is what we should learn. Okay, thank you, Himaja. That answered your question. Anybody else has any questions? Okay, Bhargavi is asking question. We usually hear like experience according to, like we experience according to karma. Similarly, Arjuna also think that he should have done some adharma in previous janmas. We usually hear like we experience according to our karma. Yeah, we experience the current happiness or distress according to our past karma. Yes. Similarly, Arjuna also can think that he could have done some adharma in previous janmas. Therefore, he's getting the suffering now. Yeah, that is true. Bhargavi, what you're telling is correct. the current happiness and distress is coming from our past karmas. In case some of you don't know what is this concept, which will be covered later. But Arjuna's main question is, what is my dharma now? See, what is my dharma now is not destined by our previous karmas. That is your free will, your choice. Current happiness and distress is fixed by our past karmas. But currently, what you do is not fixed. I tell you a nice example. Suppose say you catch a flight to Delhi. You already sat inside a flight to Delhi. You are, let us say, from Kerala. You sat in Kerala and you are going to Delhi. Now you cannot get down in between in Hyderabad or any other place. You have to get down at Delhi. That is fixed. But what you do inside the flight depends on you. You can either waste time and keep scrolling YouTube, or maybe you can make a deal with some other businessman. That will decide what will happen after you get down the flight. So what I want to tell is, the current happiness and distress is fixed already by what we have done in the past. We boarded the flight to Delhi, therefore we will reach Delhi only. But in the flight, what you do decides what happens after you reach Delhi. So what karmas you do now decides what happens in future. So Arjuna was actually thinking, what is my dharma right now? What I should do now? Should I kill? Not kill? That cannot be decided based on past karmas. I hope I answered your question, Bhargavi. Yeah, yes. Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Otherwise, we can call it a meeting because today's time is. Thank you very much. Any other questions if you have? Otherwise, we will end the meeting. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Gauranga. Thank you. We will end the meeting. Thank you.